My secret sauce literally is to be grateful. Grateful for everything I have. When I have a penny to my name, grateful for it. I know that I'm taken care of. And it's a blind faith of just saying, I know I'm taken care of and I know everything's going to happen in the right way at the right time. And I can't really tell you when it's going to happen, but I know it.
Hey everybody, like what you see, Luxe Life with Candice Bar, or any of the Luxe Media Studios shows, make sure you subscribe and click the like below. Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Believing Before Seeing. I am so excited about this. I've been waiting to do this show. And I was thinking, it's really important who the first guest is on your first show. And it came to me and I was like, hello, so obvious. I had to have Miss Aime on our first show. So welcome, Miss Aime, to Believing Before Seeing.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
And you just started your new show with Luxe Media.
Yes.
And let's see what that's called.
Loving your life, be authentically you.
I love that. So, I have to tell you, which I think I've told you before, but I'm going to tell everyone who's listening and watching, I'm going to tell you again, you're the perfect person for the first episode of this show, because I don't know anyone happier, more appreciative, lovely, like just so excited about life. And I don't know, and I know a lot of people, and you are the only one I know like that.
Wow, thank you.
So I wanted to interview you. Of course, we're going to talk about you and your life and your journey, because you have an amazing journey, an amazing life. But as you know, the book's called Believing Before Seeing. I know you have the book, and it was so nice. You shared with me that you even shared it with your friend, and she read the book. So nice. And so I wanted to get first, what did you think about the book?
Oh, I loved the book. I think what I loved about it, Candice, was that it was so simplified and so easy. I think when we think of manifestation or believing or, all of this thing, we're like, wait, it's not going to happen. We question ourselves. We mess up things. We get in our own way from all of the things of people telling us we can't do it, or, or, oh, it's just too big, or, oh, I'm a mom now, can't do it anymore. All of these things. And what I loved was you simplified every step of the way so that it's very easy for us to just say, okay, we can do this. And we do this every day, but we don't even know we do this, which was interesting.
Totally. And and I'm glad, thank you for saying that. I'm glad you said that, because it was my goal to make it as simple as possible, because it is simple. As humans, we make things so complicated and convoluted, and we get in our own head, and life does not have to be hard. There's nothing saying it has to be difficult. There's nothing saying it has to be hard. It can be quite easy if you let it be easy.
Very true. Very true. We stop ourselves from self-doubt to everything that we've been through in life and the hardships, because we've all been through hard times. And then that just stops us in our tracks. And then we're like, well, okay, this is what I'm going to have. And
Right.
That's it. But there's so much more that we can do. And it all starts internally, which was really the key. The forgiveness, forgiving of ourselves, forgiving of others, and internally being happy inside, which is the biggest thing, because the outer world, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's all about internal happiness.
Yeah, we don't know yet, because we haven't been there yet. And people like to speculate and think that they know, but no one's been there yet.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you may have been there before, I don't know. But in this body right now, nobody knows. And so what you do know is right here, right now. That's what you do know. Yeah. And you have the power, you have the personal power. You don't have to a lot of people like to give their power away all the time because they don't want the responsibility. You got a lot of power. You got a lot of power in this meat suit. You can do a lot of things with it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I thought you would be great to do the first interview with, because you
I find you to be like a light walker. I think you walk in light, you walk in love, you walk in happiness. And especially, I would say, Americans, American culture, we forget that happiness is incredibly important. And it is happiness can shift and move mountains. It can change a lot of things. So I would like, how do you stay so happy? What is the secret sauce?
My secret sauce. My secret sauce literally is to be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Grateful for everything I have. When I have a penny to my name, grateful for it. I know that I'm taken care of. And it's a blind faith of just saying, I know I'm taken care of and I know everything's going to happen in the right way at the right time.
Yeah.
And I can't really tell you when it's going to happen,
Yeah.
but I know it.
Yeah.
That's just, I think that's it. I've noticed all the times that I've manifested something or I've thought of this, I look back and I'm like, wow, I was in this like bubble of just a love bubble, I call it this happiness bubble where we're all in this world together and we're just, it's like loving each other. It's just really being happy within ourselves.
Yeah.
And when you're in that bubble, that's when the beautiful things start happening and manifesting more than you realize. And there was a time I had won actually on The Price is Right. I don't know if I told you this story, but I won on The Price is Right. And it was actually a car. My lease was up. And I remember just driving around going, okay, I need a car. Okay, I have a car. It's okay, whatever. Thank you for this car. I was just like in that mode, but not like, how am I going to get a car? Oh my gosh, this is up. I mean, and now thinking back, Candice, I'm thinking if I didn't get the car, there would have been a problem. Like,
Right.
I didn't go there in my mind.
That's the key. That's the key right there. You didn't go there. You didn't feed into it.
No. It can happen. Why can't it happen? And if it happens for other people, it can happen to us. And even if something brand new starts happening in our mind, it can happen. It just things, get developed that way. When you start thinking about things, that's how things come about. And so I was just like, oh, I have a car. Okay. And so I ended up getting on The Price is Right. Quick story, and basically won a car. And I was just like, what? Pitch me. Like, it was amazing. And all of the things that happened through that was I was in that vibrant bubble place. Even in the show, I'm just like, I want everybody to win. Like, let's all win together. There was no competition.
Yeah.
There was no ego. There was no, oh, I'm better than everybody. It wasn't like that. It was a confidence of just, I got this. I'm having fun. I love this. Let's do this. And it was that. And that's what I know helps me to win. I know it.
These are all the key points. Having fun, knowing that you're taken care of, knowing that you got this.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing of believing before seeing, because you had no way to know that you were going to get on The Price is Right. You had no way to know that you were going to win the car that was needed at that exact moment. I mean, we've all heard stories like that, but you trust, you have faith and trust. I always say, just free fall it. You're going to be caught every time.
Exactly. And you don't know how you're going to be caught, or you don't know how it's going to come about. Again, The Price is Right for a car. Like, I mean, you just don't know. And the amazing thing is that the incredible things that unfold are even better than you can imagine.
Yes.
So why not trust? Because it's amazing. Like, even being on your podcast right now is such a blessing, and I'm so excited for it. And it's actually a dream come true, literally. And so, you don't know how it's going to unfold. How did I meet you? How did all of these things happen? It does when you just have that faith, that blind faith and that trust. You said faith like a mustard seed. Absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah. Mustard seed is tiny, tiny, tiny. It's smaller than your pinky nail.
Exactly. Tiny bit of faith. Just a tiny bit.
It's like, let us do our job. We got this. We've been doing this for a long time. You don't need to. And someone said something. I did an interview last week on the other show, and he said something, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I do that. He's like, you don't need to pre-worry. You don't need to pre-worry. It's not going to make something go better.
True. All it does is makes you spiral down and
Totally.
you lose your vibration. You lose
Totally.
the momentum of what's going to happen. You
Yeah.
get out of the vortex. You get out of
Yeah.
all of the beauty that surrounds your life because you're worrying about a specific thing, and that's lack.
Yeah.
So even financially, like really, the lack of it. Because I was doing that. There's times, like, oh my gosh, and I thought, no, thank you for this bill. No,
Mm,
thank you. I have
mm,
electricity. Thank
mm,
you. And when
mm.
you start doing that, that's when all of a sudden you're like, well, now there's some money here. Like, why?
Right. Right.
Because you're grateful for what you have and you're
Yeah.
not living in that lack.
Also grateful for what you have and still be willing to dream bigger. Like, thank you so much for this right now. And I'm also open to bigger, newer things coming my way.
Absolutely. Yes. I loved what you said in the book about that because you talked about the car situation. Like
Mm.
when you're in, you're like, well, I can just get a car, repair it. No, why don't you get a brand new car? Get a driver or go big. Go big. Dream
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Why not? There's
It's
no
free. Dreaming is free.
exactly. But what do we do, Candice? What do we do when we're young? When we're younger, we do. But when we get
State when you're nervous, when you're scared, when you're angry, when you're all those types of feelings, those types of vibes, you're going to keep yourself exactly where you are or go lower and worry because you're not trusting. You're
exactly,
like this. Yes, I'm not, and I'm not. It's not putting your head in the sand like an ostrich and just ignoring. Yeah, I know realities and I know certain things, but like, yeah, at this exact moment, this is happening. But things can change in a second, and you know that better than anyone else.
I do. I do.
Yeah. And I want you to, can you please, would you be open to sharing some of your story? And that's another reason why I have you on this show.
Yes, yes. My health journey, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So about a little over a year ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's follicular thyroid cancer, but it metastasized into many of my bones. So it's all over my bones. And when they took out my thyroid, there was no cancer. So what they're saying, it's complex and complicated because there's cancer all over my body and it's traveling different places. I also just recently found out there's a mutation. So that's going to go to liver, lungs, lymph nodes. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm at that point because, and what the doctor told me is it's complex and complicated. Live your life between treatments. And did I take that to the nth degree?
Literally.
Let's start this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I mean,
Yes.
I had to because what am I going to do? People are like, well, you're not like laying down and all sad. Why? Why am
It's
I
not going to do anything.
No, it's not. It's going to make
Yeah.
me depressed, make my children feel sad. I
Yep.
have 2 children and it's been hard on them, yes, but I try to keep that momentum and that positivity up, that it's
Mm.
going to be okay. And, and that we take every moment. And my daughter learned from that. Like last night, Mom, I love you so much. I love you so much. Just because now we've got, she knows how precious life is.
Mhm.
And I think there's times we have to have something big happen in order to do that. It's like, no, do it every day. Live in that
Yes.
moment.
Yes. Like, why? Again, that's another thing humans do. Like, we have to have something big to happen in order to value things, in order to live life, in order to do certain things. It's like, why? Live your life to the fullest every single day,
Exactly.
whatever makes you happy, regardless of what other people think or say. It is your life.
That is true. That is true. And, it's funny because when I was younger, a lot of people said, oh, you're just so happy. And I took that as like, oh, and I started like backing away
Yeah.
from my
Yeah.
own light.
Yeah.
And then I realized, so when this diagnosis hit, I'm like, no more. I
Yeah.
did everything your book said. I forgave myself for everything I've done wrong because nobody is perfect. I forgave other people. I made amends with everything so that if it was my last day,
Yeah.
would I be okay?
Yeah. That's so important, so impactful, really. And going back to forgiveness, like you said, it's like, some forgiving yourself, okay, and forgiving other people. And I've heard some crazy stories, really, I don't know the word for it, disturbing stories
Yes.
of
Yes.
people's life's journey and story. And you know, you would say that some people don't deserve forgiveness for some things that they have done to other people, but you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you, for you to live your life unshackled, for you to live your life to the fullest. And again, back to happiness, because worrying, you can never worry yourself into a positive place, and you cannot worry yourself into happiness.
No, those two do not go together.
No,
It's
it
like,
doesn't.
I mean,
You can
there
try it,
you
but it's
can
not
try
gonna.
it. You can try it. You can try it. And I want to share that yes, when I got that diagnosis, there was times, there was grief, there was sadness, there was all of those things you go through.
Mm,
But what happened was I took that and I said, I'm going to help people through this. And that's when I started my TikTok. Dream Big 1122. That's what it's called. But
yes, we'll put it down below.
and that TikTok grew in one night, which was crazy to me. And I
Wow.
didn't even think about that. I was just like, let me just share with people what this is. And if I can just bring some joy to some people and really to be honest. And so that's how that all started. And so, there was grief, there was sadness, there was all of that. But I was like, I'm not going to stay there. Why
Yeah,
am I going to stay there?
yeah.
There's no reason to.
You know, I just got a download for you. You are on a joy journey.
I like that.
Journey of joyfulness, and I love it. It is infectious, and I love it so much. I appreciate it so much. It makes me happy. So I want to ask you, especially you, because you could absolutely say this and this is happening. It's a current reality that can change at any moment, but this and this is happening. I have all the excuses to be upset, sad, mad, all the feelings. So how do you, if you get into that at some moments, how do you get yourself out of it?
So I listen to good podcasts. I
Mm.
listen to YouTube videos. I do a lot of rampages of like positivity and thinking of
Yeah,
gratefulness,
yeah,
write down things that I'm grateful for. I'll be driving and like, oh, I just love the trees and oh my goodness, the beautiful blue sky. And like, I just do that type of thing. And it gets me out of what is going on inside.
yeah.
And I also say cancer doesn't define me. Any
Mm,
illness doesn't define us. We
mm,
weren't born with that. That's not us. Our heart and our soul and who we are as a person is what we are. And so
absolutely.
that's how I look at it. And I'm like,
Mm,
it kind of happened because my mom was here when I was first diagnosed, and she was like, oh my gosh, everything, you're gonna die. It was a very scary situation.
mm.
And I said, Mom, it's like the flu. It's like the flu. We're just going to take care of it and we're going to move forward and we're just going to keep taking care of it. But, I just have to live my life.
Yeah,
And that's how I had to do it in order to make her feel better, which internally helped me to go, it doesn't define me.
yeah. That's so interesting that you had to make her feel better.
I did. She was so stressed. I'm like, oh, it's okay. But
Amazing.
I mean, at the beginning, I looked really bad. My daughter remembers it. I don't remember as much, to be honest,
Yeah,
because I was in a wheelchair. I wasn't walking. I had to get surgery in my hip with screws because the tumor ate through the pelvis area. I had, of course, the surgery. And so there was a lot of things, radiation treatments and all kinds of stuff. And I think that I didn't really remember a lot of it too, but I just remember what that doctor said.
yeah.
Complex and complicated, live your life between treatments. And that's what I've just decided to do.
Mm, I love that so much. And you're such a huge inspiration for sure. And I'm sure you're inspiration to your kids as well.
Yeah, I mean, I tell them, I'm like, anything is possible. Dream big. Dream big. I
Yeah,
think we get so stuck, Candice, in this little box that this is all we can do. And it's like, no, what does your heart want? What is your soul's purpose? What do you desire? Because we all have that. When we were a
absolutely.
child, we had that.
And when you're a child, there was no limitations. Limitations were only put on it when you told other people other adults, and then they decided to squash that. And then that's when limitations came about. But children don't have limitations.
No,
Mhm.
no. And when you have those people that are talking and chatting in your ear,
Mm,
right?
mm.
It's like, then we just stop and we're like, no, it can't happen.
Yeah,
Never gonna happen. And
yeah.
I've always been a dreamer. I call myself, I live in Candyland.
It's a good place to live.
I do. I know reality too, but I do live in that moment, where
Yeah.
I believe in those dreams and things happening and life unfolding before you. And it's
Mm,
such a big, vast world that we can't even comprehend.
absolutely.
Amazing. So
Yes.
I've really taught my kids to look at that and to be grateful when they're kind of in like a mood. I'm like, okay, what are you grateful for? What do we have? Look at where we've come from. Look at what we've done and
Mm.
things like that.
That's so beautiful. Now, throughout this journey and throughout this process, what have, again, you have the best personality and the best outlook on things that I've ever seen. But what have you learned about yourself through this process that you're like, oh, I'm actually really proud of myself discovering that?
I think it is really taking every day as that gift
Mm.
and not letting those little things get to me.
Did you do that before?
So it was off and on. So it was
Okay.
often, right? So I was in a relationship, married, and then
Mm.
ended up divorcing. So that was very tumultuous. And so, it was off and on. And I think that when I finally was able to go, no, this is what I want to live my life. And I learned that it doesn't matter what other people said.
Mm.
I'm finally like, this is me.
I don't care. I actually don't care. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's freedom. That
yeah,
is so much freedom when you finally just are like, this is me.
yeah.
Me. And I think I stopped myself so many times. So when I had no choice but to completely be into my own, and through this cancer journey, I realized that's what I've learned was just to be like, okay, this is me.
Yeah.
And not be
And that's it. This is
unapologetic.
me and that's it. And this is who I am. And this is how it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, we hear it all the time. We hear all the affirmations and we create our own world and, positive life, positive outlook, positive life, all the things. It's very rare someone's actually living it.
Right.
Mm,
And it gets pushed, like it gets pushed into you when something catastrophic happens.
yes.
It kind of does.
So, you know, what advice would you give people how to believe before seeing if they're new at that concept or they're new to that ideology? What first steps would you give them to get them into that space?
So I think the biggest thing is when you start really getting into your own self of what you really want in life
Mm,
and becoming truly internally happy,
mm,
not allowing these external factors to affect you. When
yeah,
you're driving down the road and someone pulls in front of you and you're just like, oh, well, they probably just had to go to the hospital and deliver a baby.
mm,
That's what I say,
mm,
or, oh, hi, I'm singing, whatever. So I think the key is that you really have to be happy within yourself,
yeah,
which when you start doing that, then you start really believing that anything is possible
yeah.
because your vibration raises. And it's so hard to explain the vibration thing because it just happens and you feel it and you're just like I said, in this love bubble, and it's amazing. So I think that the biggest thing would be just really saying, really getting into what you want in life and
Yeah.
say, you know what, I want this and I have this, and feeling that you have it, which is that happiness, right? Because
Mhm,
that happiness factor is what you're going to feel, but not stopping yourself and going, but when am I going to get it? How am I going to get it? It's
mm.
going to happen. Stop that.
Yeah. The how, it's in the book. It's in the book. The
Yes.
how is not up to you. You do not need to figure out the how.
No.
Isn't that fun? You don't need to figure it out.
Yes, exactly.
Very little work for you to do. Stop giving yourself so much work.
Exactly. Yeah, allow it to happen and just
Yeah.
detach from that part of it. And once you do that, that's when these things will start coming into your life and you'll be like, whoa, like it's amazing. Like how we met Candace and all of that.
It's really interesting because I almost didn't go to that event. So me and Amy met our mutual friend Rafi from Rafi Lounge, a little plug for Rafi Lounge.
Amazing.
He was having an event and he asked me to speak. And so I did, and we did kind of like a Q&A on stage. The book wasn't even out yet. It was, and she was in the audience. And then after she came up to speak to me, we're talking about Abraham Hicks and all the fun things that we, that whole world that we love. And then a week later or so, we went to San Diego and we went to this event, and then we've been kind of connected ever since. And then she started her show with us. So you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Like, that's what I mean. But I think I actually kind of put this into motion in a way, which is interesting because when I was younger, so when I was younger in high school, I didn't like to get up in front of people and talk. I was scared because I was always told I couldn't do it. I was always told my grammar's not right. My parents are from Croatia, so, they didn't speak correctly, all of these things. And I put that into myself. Can't do it. Well, when I came to California, I remember telling someone I want to be a motivational speaker, but I just said it. I just said it. And then I just kind of started going on to Facebook, and I started talking to people, and people were like, wow, this meant something to me. I'm like, oh, it did. Okay. I'm just speaking from my heart. I don't even know what I'm saying. Nothing's written out ever. I don't know. And so I just said it and I put it out there. And then I just and then I started doing my little podcast, and I was like, well, I'll just try it and just see what happens, whatever, and allowed things to just kind of unfold.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it happened. And that's what you got to understand. You just put it out there and let it just come to you.
And that's the main, let it, don't block it.
Yes.
With all your reality and nervousness and fear, and you're blocking your blessings. You're asking for it. It's coming to you. You're blocking it.
Exactly.
Let it in. Open the door. Let it in. Yes.
It's right there waiting.
Knocking.
Yes. Yes. Ask, you shall receive. It's right there. Yeah. And it's it's at the hand and it's right there. But when you're like, can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? And
where is it? Where is it? I'm asking for it. It's not here.
Exactly. It's like a little child, right? They're like, can I have the candy? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? And you're like, I'm giving it to you. Wait, can I have it? Can I have, patience. It's coming. It's coming. Yes. But when you just Mom, can I have candy? Sure. There it is. Yeah. It's so easy once you do that.
Yep. 1,000,000%.
Or the restaurant one. I loved what you said in your book about the restaurant.
It's like, you order food at a restaurant, the food, then you fully expect it to come the way you ordered it. And usually it does. The food comes and you eat it. It's as simple as that. You didn't think, is the chef in the back making the food? Is he doing it correctly? What if the waiter breaks his leg and doesn't bring me my food? You're not thinking any of that.
Help him do it.
Should I go back there and make sure it's happening the way that I want it to happen? No, it's just going to appear.
Exactly. You trust. And I think that's the biggest thing. And that's hard for us to do, right? Because in our society, we want now. And these big
now, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't trust anybody. That means I also don't trust myself. That means if you don't trust yourself, that means you don't trust the universe, because that runs to me and through me. You are made of the same stuff that is in the universe that is supplying you with your requests. You're made of the same thing. That's why it's personal power. It is all connected. Nothing is disconnected. The only disconnect is when you decide to disconnect. It's always there for you. You can plug in at any time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes it simple. It's not so difficult, but we make it difficult everything we've been through.
We make it incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But I think we like the challenge. We might like the challenge. I don't know. I don't know why we do this.
But then we go into worry. And then we go into all of those things, which drops us down in vibration, which then it doesn't happen. And then we're more worried because it's not happening and we need it. Let's say financially we need something, right?
Yep.
So we're worrying about it. We're worrying about it. And then it's not happening. And then more stuff like that's happening of the negative. And you're like, well, wait, I'm trying. And no, just let it. Let it. Ask and let it.
Ask, believe, receive.
Yes, exactly. And
There's 3
envision
steps
it.
to this. There's 3 steps.
Exactly, exactly. And envision it. I do
Yeah.
a lot of that. This last summer I was in Croatia and with my parents, and literally for 2 hours a day I was in the water, floating in the salt water and
Mm,
envisioning my life.
mm,
Envisioning it, like
mm,
what it's going to be like for my daughter. My daughter's a singer songwriter, true
mm.
Istina, Istina. Little plug. Um,
We'll put it down below for her.
and so I was envisioning her. I was
Mm.
envisioning, about my cancer and what's it going to do. And
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candice Bar. Order your copy today.
so basically, I was taught by Joseph McClendon, actually, who spoke when you were there.
Mhm.
He told me that. He said, don't say you're healed because that's hard. Our brain wants to stop us from that word because
Mm.
we know we're not healed, right? But I'm healing. Okay, I can take that. I'm healing physically. I'm healing emotionally. I'm healing this way. And your brain's like, okay, I can take that in. I can absorb that.
Mm. Mm.
So I realized that even with the cancer and saying, floating in the water and I'm healed or I'm healing, basically, how am I healing? I didn't put a cap on it. The
Yeah.
cancer's gone, or is it? I just was like, well, it's my heart. It's my, who knows why, but there's something going on that I'm supposed to be going through this
Mm. Mm.
to be learning something, to be growing, and to becoming a better person, and for all of these manifestations to come to reality.
And also, I would say I would add to that, be teaching on that, because you are teaching on maybe not healing of that particular thing, but you are absolutely teaching on positive mindset and living your best life and being happy. And people need a happiness teacher. They do. People need a happiness teacher. They do. And we have coaches for everything else. We have financial coaches. We have life coaches teaching me about life. We have coaches for sports. We have coaches for everything else. Why not have a happiness coach?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes.
I never thought of that.
I think I even said, I think that should be your business. I think you should be a happiness trainer, a happiness coach. I absolutely think that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because anything that like brings me, like starts to do this to me, because I'm human. I mean, I'm human.
Yeah.
I look at what can I do to get out of it, like this, rather than let it take me down.
Yes. That's the key. That's where the power comes in. Instead of going down an emotional roller coaster, stop it in its tracks, bring it back up.
Yes, exactly. And you have the power to do it, which is crazy, right? That we have the power to actually do that.
Yes.
We have the power. I've seen people that are so sick, or they've lost limbs, or different things, or homeless, and those people are the happiest. And
Yes.
you would be so surprised because internally they are happy. And
Yeah.
internally, then they're going to start manifesting what they want. They're going to start seeing life open up differently. All of that will start happening through that. And so I love it. Like, I'm in the grocery store, Candice, I'm literally singing and doing this, and other people are like, hey, we're going to sing with you. Like, I mean, I just am, because I'm at that point where that's just me. Like I
Right.
said, I think that's the key. The key is to be authentically yourself.
Yes.
That's my podcast, right? Is being authentically yourself. Because when you step into that authenticity, then you can really step into your true, genuine happiness.
Yes.
And what makes you happy is going to be different than what makes me happy.
1,000,000%. I absolutely, there's nothing you're saying I disagree with.
Thank you.
I love how you got that. And then you're like, you know what? We're living life. So would you say that before all of this, I know you said that like some moments yes, some moments no. Would you say this made you appreciate things more, appreciate people more, appreciate yourself more? Was there a level of appreciation that just went up?
Yes, absolutely. I think every moment now, even in my day, I'm like, okay, what am I doing? And I appreciate every present moment. Because the future, yes, I can believe it, right? And I do, and I believe it, and I see it, and I mean, I've got this huge thing going on here. But I have to live in the present moment too,
Mm.
because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, nobody does.
Right.
So, but living here in this moment of gratefulness and this moment of, oh, I get to hug my children.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to, we get to go out to eat and have this great meal, or I get to go see Rafi, or I get to go see you, all of these things, or San Diego was amazing. Like, I loved it. Like these things mean so much to me.
Mm.
So every little thing is a gift.
Yeah.
That's key. Everything is a gift. This computer is a gift. Everything is a gift. And when you look at life that way, how can you not be happy?
Absolutely.
Not be happy.
I have a friend, really good friend, and it's a long story. I won't get into it right now, but about 5-6 years ago, he suddenly lost both his legs in an hour, in a span of an hour. And fast forward to now, he's now a motivational speaker now, which I'm so excited about for him. But he also too, it's like, why do these astronomical things have to happen for us to appreciate things? And it's like, we, instead of saying, example, like, oh, I have to go work out in the morning, no, you get to work out in the morning. Because for like this person, for example, he would give anything to be able to walk in a treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. He would get anything to do that. So it's like, yes, be grateful. You think you got problems, you think you got issues, like you don't know what problems or issues are.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have something. We all have something going on with us.
No one that's a human doesn't have something going on.
Exactly. It's how we approach it.
1,000,000%. And how we approach it, how we decide, because everything's a decision. Again, back to your brain, back to your personal power, how you decide to deal with things or not deal with things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we just like I said, that moment, so that thing that happens to cancer is an event. It's an event. I look at it as an event. So an event can come, go, whatever, and that's where I'm at. Instead of saying
it's an experience.
Yes, exactly. And it's happening for me, not to me. And I know that for fact, because I feel that even though there's things, like I said, my children's relationship with me is so amazing now. I mean, these incredible blessings that have come out of my cancer, that I'm just like, okay, I was the person that had to have it. Like, okay, I just have to look at it that way, rather than it being a hindrance in my life.
Also, too, I may add to that, maybe it's like, it is your experience happening at this moment right now, which, like you said, experiences can change at any moment. But also, there's a lot of other people going through similar experiences, if not worse. And kind of looking at it like that as well. And like, they would give anything to be in your shoes.
Exactly. My eyes are opening in the morning. So I walk. So grateful. Not in that wheelchair. Just those things just are. Yeah. I mean, you just can be grateful for anything.
Totally. Yes, absolutely.
Some people, I did music therapy with a lot of clients, and I remember just saying that, and they're like, "Oh no, there's nothing to be grateful for." I'm like, "Did you wake up?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a roof? Was there a roof over your head when you woke up?
Exactly.
Were you sleeping on a bed? Do you have running water?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many simple little things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Until something happens to us. And then it's, oh, now I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Well, why can't we be grateful now before it happens? Be grateful for what you have. And you're going to live such a more fulfilled, joyous life. I want to be joyous no matter what happens to me. I want to feel that. Why wouldn't I want to feel that?
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite words, joyous.
Yes.
To be in joy, to be a part of joy, like to give off joy. Like, I love the word joyous. When I moved to California, I was really, really young, and everyone, there's not one person that told me to do it. Everyone told me not to do it. And it kind of, thank God for my stubbornness at the time. Thank God, because the more people told me not to do it, the more I really wanted to do it. So.
That is so true. That's our tenacious ability, right? Just
that fury and proving people wrong is a big fuel of mine. big fuel of mine. So if, it's interesting to look back on your life. If you didn't take certain steps, you wouldn't be at certain places. You wouldn't meet certain people. You wouldn't create and do certain things. So never listen to anyone else. Never.
No, no. And literally just really feel what your heart wants. I remember
Totally.
I was with my voice student back in Illinois, and I just mentioned to her because she's a singer, and I'm like, oh, it would be so cool if we lived together in California, just out of the blue. And I'm like, I can't, I'm a mom, like, I'm like, whatever, but I just threw it out there. And then all of a sudden the ball started rolling, and we won. Actually, my daughter and I won World Championship of Performing Arts in California, in Hollywood, for us to sing. We won a scholarship out of the blue, but that happened because our hometown actually got hit by a tornado, and we wrote a song that helped them because I wanted to help them through it. And so that's why we got it. And all this stuff started just coming. And then I was like, oh, California is not as scary as I thought it was. The people here are really great. Like all these things just started momentum. And I was like, whoa, now I'm living in California for over 8 years and thinking, how did this even happen?
Right.
But I have an incredible doctor. I have incredible friends. I have, amazing community of people.
You have the sunshine. You have the beautiful beaches. Exactly. There's so many amazing things California does provide that people can say whatever they want about California. If you don't live in California, you don't know about California. So, and I'm so excited and happy for you. And I will say, I'm not kidding when I say you should really consider, I'm giving you a business idea right now. You should really consider being a happiness coach, because people will do it.
Okay.
I'm very serious. I'm not kidding at all.
Happiness coach.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I really do want to instill that in people, that it's super easy to become that once we're in our authentic self. And
I want to ask you, because you know better than anybody else, is there a favorite quote or scripture or something like that when you're, getting out of your mini funk or, bad vibes, or getting back into the good vibes, that helps you get back into the good vibes faster?
Actually, it's the name of the podcast. Loving your life, be authentically you.
Beautiful.
That's like a really big one that I have. And
I love
used to have also where I would put on my phone, like every hour on the hour, like 3 different things that would be like authenticity, loving, kindness, or whatever it may be. And I would look at those every hour. And that was also helping me to move through life, because it's like, oh yeah, am I being authentic in this moment? Am I loving my life in this moment? And it helps to remind you to just stay in that. And then it's great to be here. It's fun.
Absolutely. Well, I love having you. I'll definitely have you on again, Miss Aime. We love having you. We love producing your show. You're doing a great job. It is a great show. Let everyone know where they can find you. How can they reach you?
Dream Big 1122 on TikTok. It is Loving Your Life, Be Authentically You on Instagram.
Okay.
You can also go, if you want to go to Amie Jelich, Yaniak, that's also my personal page on Instagram. You're more than welcome. It's open. And those are the main ones right now.
Okay. Well, we'll put them all below. Okay. I would highly recommend, I'm going to push you. Please do connect with Miss Aime. She is a ball of love, light, amazingness. And if you need a shot in the arm of joy or happiness, I would absolutely contact her. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Thank you, Miss Aime, for being our first guest on this new show, which I'm so excited about. And talking about my favorite topic, manifesting, getting everything that you want, being in love with life and all the good things. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. And we will see you all again next week. Bye, everybody.